Hey, what's up? My name is Petrowski, and welcome back to another episode within the series Loot from 1000 Pokemon. As you might have noticed from the little blob in front of me, this episode's focus Pokemon is going to be Ditto. Now, this is going to be a long one, and it's going to take me a long time to make this video, as I catch around one Ditto every 2.5 to 3 minutes, so I end up averaging around 25 Dittos per hour. So in total, it's going to take me around 40 hours of in-game time catching Dittos to complete enough Dittos for this video. Now, throughout this video, I'm going to be trying my best to show you guys and demonstrate and portray how much profit I've made each batch. I catch usually around 4 batches of a Pokemon when I catch 1,000 Pokemon, and what that means is I catch 240 Pokemon each time, so I have 4 empty boxes within my PC dedicated to catching that Pokemon. I'll go ahead and show you that now. Alright, and spoiler alert, I have already caught the first 1,000 Dittos. As you can see in boxes 2 through 5 are all dedicated to Dittos. I just need to go ahead and sort them, but for now, let's go ahead and talk more about what this video is about. This video is not only going to be for entertainment, but also about money making and trying to teach you guys and show you guys how much profit you can make with Dittos. And I'm going to be testing a different type of Pokeball during each batch. So throughout the first batch, I actually used only Pokeballs, and I used around exactly 1,000 Pokeballs. I bought 1,000 Pokeballs for this batch, and now I only have 12 left. Each Ditto ended up taking, on average, around 4 Pokeballs per Ditto. It's commonly debated which Pokeball or which ball is best to use when catching Dittos, and I'm going to be trying to present you guys some information within this video to try to come to a better understanding and help you guys come to your own conclusion of which Pokeball you want to use. So I got the first batch with 1,000 Pokeballs, the second batch is going to be Great Balls, the third batch is going to be Ultra Balls, and then the fourth batch will be Repeat Balls. Alright, now I do want to go ahead and cover what Pokemon I bring to Dittos, as my strategy for this has changed a little bit, mostly just in what item I use on my brother and what item I give him to hold. But if you want a full guide on how to catch Dittos, I will link that in the description. I have made a guide for that, but the only difference is go ahead and throw a Toxic Orb on your Breloom and make sure it has Poison Heal ability instead of Leftovers. The reason I've made that decision was someone actually pointed it out in my comments, and it was a great tip. The reason being the animation for Toxic Orb is much faster, like 3 to 4 times faster than the Leftovers animation. So having that Leftovers animation every single time at the end of each turn is going to cost you so much time as opposed to having the Toxic Orb animation. It may sound minimal or minuscule, but it really has made me enjoy Ditto hunting a ton more and just removes a lot of the annoyance and monotony from it. Alright, so the main Pokemon I use while Ditto hunting is a Breloom with decent IVs, EV trained in attack and speed, and then Substitute, False Swipe, and Spore. These are the 3 most important moves. So what's going to happen is every battle I'm going to substitute up, and what that's going to do is going to prevent the Ditto from transforming into me. When Ditto transforms into a Pokemon, it gains all of those Pokemon's stats. So substituting kind of prevents that and makes it a ton easier to catch. False Swipe and Spore. False Swipe hitting it down to 1 HP, Spore putting it to sleep. When a Pokemon is statused, it gives a decent chance of increased catch, but Spore or Sleep is the most increased chance at catching a Pokemon. When it's asleep, you have the most increased chance out of any status. Alright, and then I also keep a backup catching Smeargle on me in case I need it in case of a shiny or something like that, but I could even get that with the Breloom. Just in case I keep this on me, but it's suboptimal to the substitute Breloom build. And then I also keep a Dig Pokemon on me. This is actually a gift from a friend that I got in 2013, so it's sentimental to me. But I have Dig on it, and any Dig Pokemon will do. It just helps you dig out of the location we'll be hunting in faster, and then you run out of that tunnel, run out of that house, and then you teleport back to the PC, because you do have to go back and forth from the PC a decent amount, because Substitute only has 10 PP and Spore only has 15, and what ends up happening is you're going to have to Spore the same Ditto multiple times a lot of the time, maybe like 2 to 3 times per Ditto, so you're going to be ending up running out of Spore PP before Substitute usually. And then I also keep an HM friend on me at all times, but that's not really required for this method. I kind of just always do that out of habit. But that really wraps up all the required Pokemon you need. I also keep like my shiny Sweet Center on me for good luck, but other than that, you don't really need that many Pokemon for this method, mostly just the Breloom. Okay, but I don't want to talk about the method too much because if you want to check out more details on that, you can check out the video in the description below. One more thing I want to touch on is why I'm doing this. It's fun to test. It's fun for science, get those numbers and research for you guys. But if you guys don't know, you can sell Dittos with a 1x31 IV for around usually 5 to 6 to 10k is like the range. I think like 5 to 6k for special attack, which this is a 1x31 special attack IV Ditto, and then around 10k for a speed 1x31. I'll go ahead and show you guys on the GTL now what the price of Dittos are going for. So let's go to advanced search, go ahead and just sort by 31 special attack and search Ditto. It's very easy to search for Ditto prices, thankfully. So 1x31 special attack Ditto is actually going for much more than I thought it would be right now, around 9k. That's pretty nice to see. This is a good time to be hunting Dittos, apparently. Also, Dittos have kind of an inherent value for just being Dittos, and I'll go into that more in a second. Okay, so the reason Dittos kind of have this inherent value is that it comes down to shiny hunting, specifically breeding for a shiny. There are certain Pokemon within this game that are so rare and so difficult to hunt for in the wild as a shiny. An example being something like Cyndaquil, which is a starter Pokemon only found within the Safari Zone in Hoenn. So even if it's just a single encounter, and even if you were to encounter a shiny Cyndaquil in the Safari Zone, you'd be in the Safari Zone, and the chances of you catching that Pokemon versus it fleeing from you are very, very high. So the alternative is buying a bunch of Cyndaquils and a bunch of Dittos off the GTL and breeding them over and over and over and over and over again until you get that shiny Cyndaquil. Although, just as a quick note, you do actually have to have the Pokemon you're trying to shiny breed as a caught OT in your deck. So, for example, if you were trying to shiny breed Cyndaquil, it would have to be this green box and be caught OT for it to come out as your shiny OT Cyndaquil. But anyways, many high-level and very rich players will do this to try to shiny hunt for, very rare Pokemon that they love. So this always gives Ditto this kind of inherent value where Dittos will always be worth at least around 3k a piece. As long as the demand is there, of course, and as long as people are breeding for shinies, Dittos will always have that value. And this brings me to my next important point of the video, which is going to be Ditto boxes. And I kind of cover this in my Ditto catching guide, which will be in the description below. But instead of selling all of our bad IVs Dittos that have inherent value on the GTL for 3k each, whenever you list, if I were to list this bad Ditto for 3k, it's going to cost me 1k in a listing fee. Instead of doing that, you can go to trade chat or go to a friend who's buying Ditto boxes and say, hey, I'll sell you this Ditto box for 3k piece of Ditto. And what that does is it turns what would have been 120k profit if you sold all of those Dittos on the GTL for 3k into 180k profit if you sell them to a player or to a friend. This is a very, very, very important part of Ditto hunting profit, and I encourage every player to sell Ditto boxes and communicate with players and go to trade chat and kind of use that outlet. It's very, very helpful. It's just going to make you a ton more Pokeyen for a little more effort. Alright, but I think that covers everything I wanted to cover to intro into this video. I hope you guys don't have any more questions, but if you do, please leave them in the comments below. Go ahead and like this video if you're interested in this video. Leave comments, questions, whatever. Go ahead and subscribe for more PokeMMO content. Ring the bell for notifications for the next Ditto episode and upload. But from this point on, I just have to go sort these 1,000 Dittos. And how I'm going to do that is basically whenever I catch Dittos, I kind of label them after the catch. So, for example, this one I labeled 1x31. And there's going to be a couple labels that you see me use. I'm going to use 1x31. I'm going to use noted. And noted is an interesting one. Noted is just a term that I've made up to kind of say, hey, this Ditto doesn't have any 1x31s, but it has some decent stats across the board in different areas. Like this would be a good tank Ditto, or someone could take this Ditto breed it with another Pokemon, brace the attack stat, and have a really good Pokemon. So Dittos that are worth something but don't have that 1x31, I note as noted. And then there are also things like 2x31 and so on. So, and then also 1x31 more, which is going to be a 1x31 Ditto with a little more going on and more stats across the board. So anyways, that's the gist of it. I hope you guys are excited for this video. I'm going to go ahead and sort these Dittos, and I'll be putting them in their own box once they're all sorted and trying to sell off the extras, or I might actually breed with the extras myself. I'm not quite sure yet for this Ditto video, but we will go ahead and get into it. Let me go sort. Peace. Yo, what's up? My name is Petrowski, and actually, it has been such a long time between now and the last clip. You might have noticed already, but you can see the Pump King's power up in the top right corner. So I'm actually recording this clip during the Halloween event of 2021. It's currently November 4th, 2021, which is hilarious. And I finally sorted all of the Dittos. It took me so long because for such a long time, I actually didn't have an open box space which to sort my Dittos. As you can see, all of my boxes are so full except for that one. And here's the 3 boxes of Shittos that I have left over, and those will go for 180k a piece per box. So that's already a 540,000 Pokeyen that we're starting with as a basis, let alone all of these Dittos here. And the reason I wanted to do it now, and I went ahead and bought a box with RP, is because Ditto prices are pretty expensive right now. I can actually go ahead and show you guys. I'll put in a 1x31 speed. The cheapest 1x31 speed Ditto right now is around 22k, which is insane. When I started filming for this video, I believe it was around 12k. Prices have gone absolutely crazy, partially due to the event and partially just due to the PokeMMO economy. That is astounding. So I was like, screw it. Like, I've got to sort it now. I've got to get my butt in gear, and I've got to sort these Dittos. I've got to be able to sell them because I'm going to be making so much profit. So that's what I did. Went ahead and sorted the Dittos, and now I'm excited to show them off to you guys and show you guys the total profit of the first batch, or at least the revenue, the total Pokeyen brought in. We'll go over all of the numbers much later on towards the end of it. This is still the first batch, but at the end we'll go over, revenue versus profit, like brought in, and the cost of Pokeballs, cost of everything like that, how much time it took, how many Dittos you catch per hour. That's one of the most important numbers when it comes to, Pokeyen per hour. And understanding that. But anyways, let's go ahead and get into the first batch. So the first batch, all of these Dittos from here to here are 1x31. Some of them are 1x31 with a little more going on. And I averaged these to be around 12k a piece. I think the cheapest one is Special Attack, which is around, I think it's still like 10k, which is pretty crazy. 1x31 Special Attack is 10k. So I'm kind of lowballing. I'm kind of under budgeting this price, but most of them are around like 12 to 13k. But then speed is just 22k. So I'm just gonna average it at 12k. So 12k per Ditto. There's 41 Dittos. I think that came out to be around 492k Pokeyen, if I'm reading my calculator right. So 492k for these. And then this batch down here, there's 18 of these. These are the noted Dittos. Let's see if I can spell this correctly with one hand. Yeah, so these are the noted Dittos. These will go for around 8k each. They're super dependent on IVs, and like they're super scattered, but that comes out to around, I think, 144k. Yeah, 144k for this batch. So, and then there's also one more Ditto for me to cover. This Ditto, the one 2x31 Ditto we caught throughout the batch, which is kind of not that many. Usually you would expect to see around 2, maybe 2 to 3 per every like 250, 240 Dittos. This was 240 Dittos caught. So within 240 Dittos caught, this will sell for around 65k, at least as of right now, which is insane. I'm really excited to sell all of this and make a ton of Pokeyen. And things are selling really quickly right now, which is incredible. But adding all of these numbers up, the 492k, the 144k, the 540k, and the 65k, comes out to 1,241,000 Pokeyen made from the first batch of Dittos, which is unreal, absolutely insane. Obviously, these take a lot more time to catch than other Pokemon and cost a lot more in resources due to the balls, but that is such an insane number. It's probably going to, even like considering all the ball prices, I would assume it has to come out to at least being 1 mil profit. That's my guess. 1 mil profit per, which is absolutely crazy. So yeah, 1 mil profit for the first batch. I'm so excited to go sell these. And yeah, I'll see you guys with the second batch. I think that's everything for this video. It's been so long since recording a clip of these, so I'm almost in a little bit of shock, and I'm, getting back to it, getting back to being used to it. It's pretty crazy, pretty cool stuff. I'm excited to go sell these off, and I guess I'll just see you guys with the second batch. Thank you guys so much for watching. Alright, the second batch has been fully caught, looking nice, 4 boxes full of Dittos, 240 more Dittos. So I also crunched some pretty important math this batch and figured out that I catch around 1 Ditto every 2 minutes. So it ended up being around, I think, 8 hours of gameplay, if I remember correctly, to catch a full batch. So every 8 hours equals 1 batch or so, maybe around 10, since I'm a little more like lax while doing it, or at least like long term. You're not going to be efficient super long term most of the time, but yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. I feel like this batch was really good. I feel like this batch was really, really lucky. So we'll go ahead and see if that's the case, and I'll sort them soon, and I'll see you guys with all the Dittos I got. Alrighty, got all the Dittos sorted. Here's the box full of all the good Dittos, and then I'm left with 3 boxes of Shittos, which is pretty cool to have like a nice box full of notable Dittos, and then just it was like a flat 3 box of Shittos, which is really cool. Anyways, this batch is kind of complicated. There's a lot of really good Dittos in here, but it's really complicated to break down in price. I'm going to be doing my absolute best and just try my best to do so. Another really important thing to mention is that Ditto prices have gone down since the last clip, or the last batch, which makes sense because Ditto prices spiked really, really hard during the Halloween event. So, because no one was farming them. Right now, Dittos are around 8 to 10k a piece. So, before, a 31 speed Ditto was like 22k. Now they're around like 10 to 11k. So, Dittos really range right now from around 8 to 12, 8 to 11k. So I'm just going to average that out and just say every Ditto is worth around 9k each, or at least all the 1x31. So that's how we're going to value those. And I believe I have 20 1x31s. This second row, or this third row, excuse me, ignore this third row, because this third row is actually all Dittos that are 1x31 more, or a 1x31 plus a 1x30. They're going to be worth more than just a 1x31 Ditto. So there's 20 1x31 Dittos, and that's going to be 9,000. I have my calculator on the side over here. 9,000 times 20. It's going to put me at 180k starting for those Dittos. Alrighty, these Dittos are kind of hard to price, this row here. I pulled out the most expensive Dittos, and they're over here. We'll cover them at the end, but these Dittos are a little difficult to price, but I feel pretty comfortable marking it at like a 20k average. After looking over them, there's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of different reasons why they're all very differently expensive, and like they probably kind of range from like 15 to maybe 40 or 50k. But I'm going to play it safe and average them at 20k a piece. So we're going to do 20k times the 9 in the row that we have. So 180k. So 180k plus 180k, what is that? 360,000. So right now we're at around 360,000 base profits so far on this batch. Okay, but now it's time to show you guys why I thought this batch was so good and why it felt so good. I got so many, I typed it wrong, so many 2x31s. I got 5 2x31s, and there's another one on the side over here. There's 2 more on the side over here that I have to cover that have a lot more going on that'll be more expensive. But these 2x31 Dittos, so I got 7 total, and then 5 here that'll sell for 60k a pop. So pretty easily, 60k a pop, 5 of them. It's going to be 300,000 Pokeyen. So 300 plus the 360k we're already at is going to put us at 660,000 Pokeyen so far. And then from there, we just have all of the noted Dittos to cover. And then I have some 2x30s in certain stats, which can be kind of useful and sell for a little bit of Pokeyen. Okay, now all of these noted Dittos that are highlighted in green here, and then these 4 Dittos on top of them, and these 3 Dittos over here, are all going to be around the same price. These noted Dittos this batch weren't that great. They're still worth noting and worth selling for a higher price, but they weren't like anything super special for the most part. So I think all of these Dittos that are left that I haven't priced so far are going to be worth around 8K a piece. So there's 24 of them. So I'm going to do 8K times 24. It's going to put me at 192,000. Add our 660 on top of that. It's going to put it at 852,000 so far for the batch. And then we also have 3 Shido boxes being 180K a piece. So 180K times 3. It's going to be 540K. So 540K plus our 852,000 is going to put us at almost 1.4 mil. 1,392,000 Pokeyen so far, and we still have the 3 best Dittos to cover. So yeah, this batch was pretty dang good. Even with the price drops, man, the price drops like hurt the batch price a lot, and even with that, like our luck this batch was just much higher than the first one. Alright, now on to our 3 prize winner Dittos. So this Ditto is really nice. The fact that it has timid nature is super important. So this is just a perfect special attacker breeding Ditto. The fact that it has, 31 HP. It'd been better if it had the 31 like speed or 31 special attack, but it has every single stat that any sort of fast special attacker needs. Everything but attack. It's got everything but attack, 23 plus, and then 25 plus in special attack and speed is pretty huge in that timid nature. So it's a really nice Ditto. I feel pretty comfortable putting this Ditto up for around 150K based on the other Dittos that are on the market here. Like this one's obviously has another 31, which is huge, but its speed is lower, which is a big deal. And it's missing a lot of HP, so which are pretty big deals. So I think definitely this one's obviously a lot better. This one's a really great Ditto. That's just an incredible catch, and I'm not going to be going for that 180K range. I think 150K will be a pretty fair range for this Ditto, and I think it will sell, honestly, in a decent amount of time. So that's another 150K onto our current profit. Going to put us at, calculate that. It's going to put it at 1,542,000 Pokeyen. All right, on to the next, trophy Ditto. So this Ditto is 2 times 31 plus 2 times 28, which is really nice. It's a little unfortunate since the 28s are both in attack, but I can go ahead and price check this Ditto with you guys and kind of show you guys my method. So we're going to do 31 HP, 31 special defense, and we'll do 25 across in those 2 other stats. Search, sort by lowest price, type in Ditto. We're probably going to go under this price. This is probably better than what we have. Yeah, this one is actually very similar to the Ditto we have, although it also has speed on it, which is a pretty big deal. So I'm going to go ahead. I'd probably list this Ditto for around 120K. It's around 50K off the price of this one. 50K for that 29 speed IV I think is really fair. So I'm going to go ahead and add 120K. Oh, I misclicked. Oops. So I have to do it all over again. 1,542,000 plus 120K. Math, ladies and gentlemen. 1,662,000 Pokeyen is our benchmark so far on batch 2. We have one more Ditto to cover. Alright, now this Ditto is literally so similar to the last Ditto we just covered, but it also has that speed. So it's literally going to be basically the same thing as this Ditto. So this Ditto is priced at around 169K. Let's go ahead and compare the differences. The attack, mine's a little worse in every regard. So my speed's 1 IV lower, my special attack and my attack are around 2 to 3 IVs lower. So I'll go ahead and list this Ditto at probably 160K. And then see if it will sell. It might take a little bit longer term because this guy's someone's probably gonna spend the extra 10K and buy this one before mine, but maybe someone will be willing to be a little budget, save that 10K. But yeah, I'll probably list mine for around 160, maybe 155 might be the best. We'll do 160 still, and it might be, or 155. We'll do 155. So we'll go ahead and add 155, 000. It's gonna put the grand total for batch 2 of Dittos at 1,817,000 Pokeyen. So pretty huge batch. Really happy with that. Took a long time. It's crazy how long this video has taken me to get out. I've only finished the second batch now, but between every batch, it's taking me like a week or 2 or more. Like a very long time to catch all the Dittos, because I'm just constantly doing other stuff. Like this is kind of like my background thing. And I'm making this video in the background, but it's such a active, intense videos. But anyways, that's the end of batch 2. I'll see you guys once I'm done selling all of these Dittos and once I'm moving on to batch 3. See you guys soon. Yo, what's up? I'm back with 4 more boxes full of Dittos, so now I gotta go through, sort them all, and that'll be a bit of a process. This video is really coming together pretty slowly, but man, it takes a lot of time to catch all these Dittos, and I'm really just doing it passively behind making all these other videos. Making 2 videos every single day on top of catching some Dittos on the side takes up a lot of time, so really working hard on it. Hopefully I'll get out this loot to 1000 Ditto video to you guys soon. I'm gonna go ahead and go sort these and start price checking. Alright, yo, what's up? My name is Petrowski, and it's time to cover the 3rd batch of Dittos. Pretty excited for this one. It seemed to be a pretty promising batch. Here's the beautiful box. They've all been sorted, and I actually already sold off my 3 boxes of Shittos. So, really happy about that. That's an immediate 540,000 Pokeyen profit to this batch. So, we're starting off with that. 540,000 for the 3 boxes of Shittos that have been sold off over here. It's nice and clean. Moving on to all of the 1x31s ranging from this corner down to this highlighted Ditto. So there is, 44 of these, and some of them are 1x31, some of them are 1x31 plus a 1x30, some of them are 1x31 plus more, like this really nice Ditto here. So I'm going to draw a hard average here to make the math easy. Normally 1x31 Dittos go for around 6 to 10k. But 1x31 and 1x plus 1x30, or like a 1x31 plus more Dittos can go anywhere up to like, I want to say up to like maybe like 40k or so. So I'm going to be really like not generous. I'm going to be really like strict and average it out at 9k per Ditto to really be conservative on the Pokeyen profit, to give you guys like a really, fair estimate and make it so you guys, I don't want to like ever overestimate Pokeyen. So 9k each Ditto. It's going to put that to 396k for those 44. So 44 times 9,000, 396,000. So we're going to do that 396 plus 540. It's going to put us at 936,000 so far. And then we have 12 noted Dittos. So these Dittos right here all the way across, there's going to be 6 on top and 6 on the bottom row, around 12 noted Dittos. These will range anywhere from 5 to 20k. It's kind of a weird range, so I'm going to go ahead and average those at 10k a piece, so that's 120. So 936k plus 120 puts us at 1,056k. And then we also have 4 2x0, which is a decent amount of 2x0 Dittos. 2x0 Dittos pretty easily sell for 5 to 10k. I'm just going to calculate those at 5k a piece, so that's another plus 20k, putting us at 1,076,000 Pokeyen so far. And then we have a couple more Dittos on the side over here to cover and calculate. Alright, I should be able to price check a lot of these with you guys, so I'm going to go ahead and search Ditto, sort lowest price, head into the IVs. The first Ditto we're going to be talking about is a 2x31 with HP and speed, so let's look at such. Should be a pretty easy price check. Pretty easy, 44k. Going to go ahead and pump that into the calculator. 44,000 Pokeyen, put us at 1,120,000. Onto the next Ditto. This one's a little more complicated of a price check, and you guys will get to see me do this, which will be pretty cool. So for this one, I'm actually going to do 30. I'm going to do 3 30s across, because this is a weird Ditto. It's 2x31, 1x30. But I feel like the best way to price check something like this is usually to do the 3 30s. So this one's 330, but mine's going to be a lot more than that. So we're basically going to slowly scroll up on the GTL until we find a similar one. So here we go. This one's got 2x31 and 1x30 going for what, 88k? This one's 2x31, 75k. Now we keep going down. Okay, this one's 66k. Okay, I think I feel pretty comfortable pricing this Ditto probably at around 70k Pokeyen. That'll be below this one. This one's probably better in my opinion because it has a 31 speed. Mine has a 30 speed. Pretty big deal, but pretty easy 70k Pokeyen. I'm going to pump that into the calculator plus 70k. Putting us at 1,190,000 Pokeyen so far. On to the next Ditto. Let's see this one. Also a 2x31. This is one of the only Dittos I accidentally caught in a timer ball. I think I misclicked and just so happened to catch it in a timer ball, which is really funny that it ended up being 2x31. Pretty easy Ditto to price check. It's cool for you guys to also be able to see how I'm doing this and see how I'm price checking. Really easy 50k Ditto. So plus 50k. On the calculator, 1,240,000 Pokeyen. And then the last one, a beautiful, an elegant a 3 times 31 Ditto. I believe the first of this video. I've been recording this video for so many months that I've definitely forgotten whether I've gotten 3 times 31 or not. Let's go ahead and do this. Wow. I don't know if that'll be accurate. Actually, it looks pretty accurate. That's unreal. I'm actually so surprised at how expensive that is. Wowzers. That's a really good one. That's crazy. That shocked me. That's pretty insane. I should be able to sell this Ditto for 448,000 Pokeyen. This Ditto will definitely sell first. This one's much better. Very, very good Ditto there. But yeah, over time, 448,000. Let's go ahead and add that 448,000 Pokeyen, leading the grand total, not including costs of Pokeballs or anything like that. And Great Ball costs are pretty significant, so keep that in mind. But without the costs yet factored in, the total profit would be 1,688,000 Pokeyen. Pretty dang sick. Alright, but that fully covers batch 3. Time to go list and sell all these Dittos, and I'll see you guys with a new batch of, I believe this is going to be the last batch, the 4th batch, so I think I need to go catch 280 Ditto this time to like even out the math, but we'll see how I do that. I'll see you guys probably in a long time from now. Well, what's up? It's been a long time. I've been working on this video passively in the background for a long time, but would you look at this? We finally did it. We have our 4 boxes, our 4 final boxes caught of Ditto, as well as, where is it at? This box. So we caught 4 full boxes of Ditto plus these 40 Ditto on top of it, equaling 4 boxes of 240 plus the next 40. That's 280 Dittos total, equaling our total Dittos caught for this entire video to be 1,000. We did it. We caught 1,000 Dittos. Now all that's left is to go ahead and sort through the final batch and get to the price check. Alright, all of the Ditto have been sorted, and first things first, let's go ahead and cover all of these Shitto boxes. So, in the last batch of 280 Ditto, we ended up with 3 and, what is this, 2/3 Shitto boxes. So we have 3 full Shitto boxes and then 2/3. So we'll have to go ahead and get the price of that. We have my trusted calculator down in the bottom left corner. So right now, Ditto boxes are actually selling for 240,000 a piece because Dittos are pretty expensive and they're in pretty high demand. There's a lot of shiny hunting events and stuff going on at the moment. So right now, Dittos are around 4K a piece, which if you do 4K times 60 for a box, it ends up being around 240,000. So Ditto boxes are literally flying off the shelves right now at 240,000. People are desperately trying to buy every Ditto box available, so I'm sure they'll be very, very easy to sell. But let's go ahead and do so 240 a piece. Let's do this complicated one. So 240,000 times 0.66 is what we're going to do to get our 2/3 price, because obviously that's 2/3 in percentage form. So 158,000 Pokeyen for this partial box, once we can eventually sell it as a full box. So let's go ahead and do 240,000 times 3 for the full boxes plus the 158,000 from the partially full box, putting us at 878,000 Pokeyen just for the Shittos. Alright, now that we're done with the Shittos, let's go ahead and get into the good Dittos with all of these stats. We have a perfectly full box of all Dittos that I want to cover and talk about. So first things first, let's cover the basic 1x31 Ditto, which are highlighted in this top green section. Ignore this bottom green section. These are 1x31 Dittos with other stats and natures and other stuff going on that will affect the price check. Let's just talk about this first top green section, which I believe there are, 3 rows, 31 of these. And these I'm actually going to average out to around 7K a piece, and I'll show you why. It just makes it easier for calculations. So let's go ahead and type Ditto. I'll show you guys in the GTL. If I wouldn't misclick, lowest price. Let's go ahead and check the 31 IV of every Ditto. So it ends up being around 6K, like per stat. Every stat ends up being around 6K except for one. So 6K there. I'm pretty sure they're all, 6K there. They're all very, very close, like 6K to like 6,500. So all around 6K, except for speed, which is much closer to 10K. But obviously, speed is only one stat out of the 6 available. So I'm gonna go ahead and bump up the average price of all these Dittos to 7K a piece. I think that's pretty fair. So we'll just do 7K times 31. And that's our base price for the 1 times 31 Dittos being 217,000. Now let's go ahead and add our 217,000 to our, what was it, 878,000 to get our number so far. There we go, putting us at over 1,095,000 Pokeyen. Now let's get into the more complicated price checks. Alright, now the bottom row is going to be a much more complicated sell. So most of these are 1 times 31 Dittos plus either more going on. Like this one's got a lot of stats actually. That one's pretty nice. Gonna pull that one to the side. So we have 1 times 31 Dittos with a lot of them are 1 times 31, 1 times 30, which means they just have like another stat that's like considered competitively viable or like almost there. People will use those. People will search for those as sort of budget deals, and they will sell. All of these will probably end up averaging being around 10k a piece. These take a lot longer to sell. Some of these will go for like 20k a piece. Some of these will go for like a lot more, especially something like with the 30 in speed, like the 31 special attack, 30 speed. It's probably a decent one. Or this one that's 31 speed, 30 defense. These will go for a little more, but they will take a lot longer to sell, be a lot more complicated. I might have to relist them a couple times, so I want to play it safe. Like this, so for example, if I price check this, it ends up being around 18k, but look, all of these have been listed for over 7 days and haven't been sold, so I'm going to calc all of these, like I said, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Dittos at 10k a piece. So I'm just going to add plus 80k. I have pulled some Dittos off into my party. Those are some really more complicated Ditto price checks, and we will do those kind of separately at the end, being the best Dittos. If you've ever seen a video or another Loot from 1000 Pokemon series of mine, I will often do this where I pull off the best Dittos or the best Pokemon of the batch. So plus that 80k puts us at 1,175,000 Pokeyen. Now I have 2 more things to cover. I have 2 times 31 Dittos and I have noted Dittos. Let's go ahead and get into the noted. Alright, really quickly before I jump into noted, I started keeping track of 2 times 30 Pokemon. These Pokemon are 2 times 30, no 31s, but just 2 times 30, which are known as a budget stat. These will go for a 5k a piece really easily, so I'm just going to add 15k for those really quick. Alright, now let's go ahead and jump into noted. Alright, now on to noted Dittos. I have, 9 of them. So noted Dittos are Dittos with 20 plus in multiple stats. For example, this one being a 153 total IV Ditto, having 20 to 25 plus across every single stat. A lot of them are going to be close to that. Like this one's 25 plus in 4 stats. Which is double statted up in attack and special attack though, so it's a little less priced, but a lot of them are going to be 20 plus in 5 stats, 4 stats, 6 stats, 25 plus. And a number of stats are really important as well. These are Dittos that I would call notables. Here, like 20 plus in 5 different stats. Just really solid Dittos. Yeah, they all look pretty much like that. I feel pretty comfortable. Usually I would mark these Dittos around like 12k, I think, but especially with this one, I might end up doing around that price. I think, actually this one too, I think a lot of these are actually higher quality noted Dittos, a lot of them being like 25 plus in 5 stats, which is really nice. So I think I'm going to go ahead and mark these at 15k a piece. So it's going to be 15k times 9. When I do mass catches of this sort, I definitely have to just like quickly price everything and just sort of do like a guesstimation price. So at the end of the day, this definitely is a guesstimation price and not an exact profit. So please keep that in mind, and I appreciate your patience alongside that. So we're going to be adding our other price. So adding our total price check to 1,325,000 Pokeyen. Now we have 2 more things to still cover. We have the 2 times 31s and then the monster catches. The 2 times 31s are going to add the most profit out of any Dittos we've checked so far, so I hope you guys are excited for them. Alright, so we ended up with 5 Dittos with 2 times 31 here, 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 and here. So this one just has 2 times 31 in attack and special attack. That one actually go a little bit less because of that. This one's 31 special attack, 31 special defense. This one is 31 HP, 31 special defense. And then these 2 are actually a little special. These will have to be priced kind of differently, or at least this one at the very least. So one of them is going to get priced a little differently. This is actually probably fine at this price check. So I'm going to go ahead and mark these 4 at 50k a piece. That'll end up being the average. So let's go ahead and show you guys. If I were to check, this is the lowest one. Here, let's do attack and special attack, and then we'll also do attack and special, or special attack, special defense. So if we were to price check, this is going to be the cheapest of the 2 times 31 Dittos. That one's going to be around 36k, so that one's a little bit less for sure. But there is another one that'll kind of even it out and make it more. They're going to average, yep, there we go. They're going to average around 50k a piece. And there is one of them that's actually going to be a little, like this one's going to be a little more expensive. It has some more stats going on. So I feel pretty comfortable putting the average here at around 50k for 4 of them. It's going to add 200,000 Pokeyen to our price check, putting us at 1,525,000. And now all that's left are the 5 beasts in my party and in my inventory. Let's go ahead and cover them. Alright, so the first Ditto I want to price check here is a 1x31 Ditto with Timid Nature, which is really, really important. So, Timid Nature, 31 special attack, really important so far. And then it's got 20 plus across in some other stats. And that can be pretty nice, but it's going to be a really difficult price check, as you can see. I have to go straight off of gut here and start off of experience, and I will try to walk you guys through my process on that as much as possible. So we could also narrow things down. So for example, you won't actually be using the attack IV on this most likely. You're probably carrying over the Timid Nature. One of the most important things when price checking and pricing your Pokemon is understanding what is the buyer going to be using this Pokemon for. What is the purpose? Who is buying my Pokemon, and what are they going to do with it, and why? So the reason someone would buy this Ditto is most likely to make a 31 special attack, 31 speed, timid Pokemon, whether it's a Jolteon, Magnezone, or any of those other like super important special attacking OE Pokemon that really need 31 special speed, 31 special attack, and timid nature. Like those 3 things are crucial on those Pokemon, while tagging along some defense stats along the way. I feel pretty comfortable placing this Ditto at around 30k, maybe 35k. It's a very specific find and a very specific deal for a certain person. But I'm going to go ahead and put it into our calculator at 35k. I think that's super fair. I think it actually could sell for more given more time, but I want to make it pretty reasonable, pretty quick, and just go ahead and go off based off that. So I'm going to go ahead and add 35k to that. Oh, I horribly misclicked, didn't I? Alright, fixing our price check misclick. Let's go ahead and make our calculator a little bigger. We're just going to add 35,000 to this number. So, putting us at 1,560,000. Now we still have 4 more Dittos to cover really quick. Alright, now moving on to our next Ditto, we have some really interesting things going on. So, nature isn't important here. For the most part, it actually could be like a nice mixed nature, but one of the most important things here is the 1x31 and then 2x30, while also being 20 plus in every single other stat. So, really nice Ditto here. Also, all of the 30 pluses are in the HP, defense, and special defense, making this an extremely good, like, tank Ditto. If someone were to breed a tankish Pokemon that also needs to kind of do some damage on the side, something like maybe Coffagrigus. I'm not super familiar with OU Pokemon. I can actually get the Pokedex really quick, but some sort of tank Pokemon that, hey, I also want it to do some damage. Maybe something like Ferrothorn, something that it's extremely tanky, but if given like Gyro Ball and having a decent attack stat, it's also going to do some decent damage. So that's pretty cool. So I think this is a great breeder for something like that. Let's go ahead and start to price check it. We're going to price check this thing really accurately at first, and then slowly like kind of narrow it down to get a more accurate price, and I'll show you guys how I do that if I need to. Although right off the bat, this is an extremely comparable price check, basically the exact same Ditto that I like. This is a perfect price check. You don't always see this with Dittos, especially with something like so specific, but this is literally a perfect price check. So they've listed theirs for 188k. I do think that is a little overpriced. I will probably end up going around 160k on mine. So I'll go ahead and add 160k to the price check, and I think that's super fair. I think that's super reasonable, putting us up to 1,720,000. I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next Ditto. Alright, now this Ditto is really easy to price check, just being 1x31 and then 2x30 and then no other stats. So this should be pretty simple. We should be pretty free to go ahead and do this. Sort by lowest price, see what comes up. Hopefully not a 2x31, and yeah, that's perfect. I think 50k is a super fair and super reasonable price for this Ditto. We're going to go ahead and add 50k to the price check. This one was very easy and very fast, putting our total up to 1,770,000. On to the next Ditto. Alright, so this next Ditto is a neat one. Nothing too crazy. This is just a really nice special attacking breeding Ditto. It also has mild nature if they want to I guess breed on attack with the other Pokemon. They could do that and make it mixed, but it's not the best sort of nature. But we do have 20 plus HP, no attack IV, 31 defense, 25 plus special attack, 20 plus special defense, and 20 plus speed. Even though the special defense is 25 plus, it's just not as relevant of a stat or as an important of a stat as special attack is, being the damaging stat in this department. So I'm gonna calculate it like this or price check it like this: 20 plus in HP, 31 defense, 25 plus in special attack, and then 20 plus in the other two stats. Even though special defense is 25 plus, it's not really going to change the price check that much. So if we click this, it's going to put us at 30k, and we're going to have a super comparable Ditto, which I think is a super fair price. I think 30k, I guess I could sell it for a bit longer. This might actually be the right play. I might actually go ahead and sell it for 38k, although it will take much longer to sell. I think that'll be the play. So we're going to go ahead and add 38k to our price check, putting us at 1,808,000. And now I think we're moving on to the final Ditto out of 1,000 Dittos. Can you believe it? Alright, so this Ditto is going to be an interesting one. It has a bit of intuitiveness to it, and I'm going to have to do a little bit of like price checking and kind of math on my own. But the most important things about this Ditto are going to be 31 special attack, 31 speed, and 30 HP. So that's what I kind of price checked it as. Let's go ahead and search that, and then we'll sort of adjust things from here based on the 27 special defense. And the 19 defense is actually somewhat important. The reason being, if you were to breed this Ditto with 19 defense with another Pokemon with, let's say, like 25 defense, it would roll to a medium of like 23 defense, which is totally usable, while also you could go ahead and Everstone embrace the nature on the other Pokemon while putting the speed IV or the special attack IV from this Ditto onto the baby Pokemon. So you can really do a lot of flexibility with this, and that 19 defense actually is surprisingly usable because it can be used to roll up. So we're going to look at this first Ditto, and this Ditto is just 30 HP, 31 special attack, and 31 speed, not possessing any of the kind of other positive traits that mine has going for it. So we're going to look at the next one, and this one is actually 31, 31, 22, 30. I think this one's overpriced. Been listed for 3 days. This is where we kind of get into like, we're running out of options. So this one's 3 times 31. So, okay. So clearly you can kind of tell my price check probably needs to be in between these two, or mostly slightly above this one, since this one is just an overpriced Ditto. So what I'm going to be doing is using my, ingenuity, experience, and everything of the sort, and I'm basically just going to be adding a little bit extra Pokeyen on top. So I'm basically going to go ahead, I'll be listing this Ditto for around 125,000. I think that's a super fair price. I think that's what I would pay for it when trying to breed a specific thing, or kind of towards the border / edge of what I would pay for it. So I think it's the perfect amount. So with that, with listing this Ditto at 125,000, it's going to put my total price check up to almost 2 million Pokeyen at 1,933,000 Pokeyen for the final stash, the final box, the final, what's the word for it? The final everything of Dittos, the final 1,000 Dittos, the final batch of 280 Dittos. So now it is time for me to go back and run through all of the numbers. I have a lot of work to do, and I will try to present it to you guys in a beautiful way, probably with MS Paint or something, Mimi. I'll try to present it to you guys in a cool way and go through each batch broken down, costs, profits, revenue, all those trigger words and everything of the sort. I'll see you guys with the numbers after this. Alright, here we are with the numbers nicely laid out in a beautiful notepad document. So let's just go over them really quickly. We all might know them already, or we have them laid out. I just want to go ahead and read through them with you guys. So the first batch, total profit. Quickly, I'll explain profit versus revenue. Profit is just like the total money seen, where revenue is the total amount of money after costs. So basically, profit is before costs, revenue is after costs and taxes and everything, of course. So let's go ahead and cover the first batch. So I made 1,241,000 Pokeyen in the first batch, which is actually the least we made throughout the entire, all the batches, which is really interesting. But it also makes sense because I believe boxes of Dittos were at their lowest during that batch, so that played a huge factor in the later batches. The second batch, I made 1,817,000 Pokeyen. The third batch, I made 1,688,000 Pokeyen. And then the fourth batch, I made 1,933,000 Pokeyen, the most out of any batch on the fourth batch, which is super sick, leading us at a total of 6,679,000 total profit, which is insane. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. There are a lot of costs when it comes to catching Ditto. The main one being the balls. I heavily recommend using repeat balls. For the initial part of this video, or the initial process, I was planning on doing Pokeballs, Great Balls, Ultra Balls, and then repeat balls, one for each section of each batch. But doing Pokeballs for the first batch was so miserable, and it took so much time. I think it was like 3 to 4 times longer I mean, yeah, by definition, 3 to 4 times longer than repeat balls, which was insane. And I would have never gotten this video out if I did Great Balls, Ultra Balls, Repeat Balls. Doing 2 videos a day plus making this in the background, it was just too much. I couldn't possibly do that. So I went ahead and I used Repeat Balls, and I recommend using Repeat Balls. I think they're the best personally, and I really enjoy them. Relieving a lot of the mental headache and a lot of the frustrations of Ditto catching is a lot of the battle. That's why I also prefer doing the Breloom method. There is another method that uses assist with Smeargle, or I've seen it with Weavile and stuff. But I don't like it. I think it's more stressful. You're gonna have to worry about your HP a lot more. There's a lot like other things that could go wrong, a lot of other factors. The Breloom method is extremely consistent, and I like that, even though it might be slightly slower. Let's go ahead and get into the cost. So I average that it's around 1.5 repeat balls per Ditto, and repeat balls are 1,350 Pokeyen each. I blew through a ton of them in this video and in this process. So 1,350 Pokeyen each is no small price. You're basically negating like the half of the price of every Shitto per catch, which is, you know, a very serious thing, but you're still also making profit on, you know, half profit on Shittos and then decent profit on any sort of 1x31 or decent IV Ditto. So it ended up being 2,025,000 total costs in balls, which is insane. That's the huge chunk. That one is crazy. And then around 100K in listing fees for each batch. I probably sold around 60 Dittos each batch at varying prices. Most of them probably only had around like a 1K listing fee, but some of them were a little more. I went ahead and averaged it out to around 400K. I like to play it like safe. I want to give you guys like a more than fair estimate on prices. So around 400K total. So it ends up being 2,425,000 Pokeyen as the total cost, which is a ton. So we take the total profit being 6,679,000 minus 2,425,000, leaving us at a total revenue of 4,254,000. Divided by 40 hours for the total in-game time spent, and you average out at 106,000 Pokeyen per hour. That's probably the most important stat of this video. If you're looking for whether it's worth it or not to hunt Dittos, this is the stat you're looking for, 106K, and that's 106K with repeat balls. I think it's really interesting. I mean, Dittos is a really good method. It's very consistent. It can be very fun. It can be very brain dead. It can be very monotonous, which is good for people, but really frustrating for others. So just a really important method to be aware of, and a very consistent one, as opposed to other there are other methods that can earn you a lot more Pokeyen in PokeMMO, but they either may be inconsistent, or like a daily, for example, like a gym run, or like Torkles, which rely on the economy a lot harder. Dittos will kind of always have a super solid base value as long as people are playing the game, and as long as people are breeding and hunting for shiny Pokemon. So not too much to worry about with that. Now, that's basically it for all the numbers. The only thing left to cover is this small little bit that I put in, and it did end up taking me around 50 hours to make this video, in terms of 10 hours in game per catching a box. It was 8 hours per box, and then 2 hours of sorting and selling on average. You definitely could sort and sell a lot faster than me, and catch a lot faster than me. If you were really efficient, I could see someone bringing this down to around 8 hours per box, which would change the profits. So, you know, go ahead and do that if you would like, or try to push that boundary. Plus editing, plus the math for this, plus laying out this notepad document, plus writing script and everything along the way, ends up being 50 hours in total to make this video. I started making this video on the 28th of September, and it is now the 19th of January in 2022. When I first started recording this video, I was probably around, if not below, 1,000 subscribers. I definitely should have checked that before starting this clip, but I didn't do that. So I just wanted to say that to give you guys a sort of perspective on how far I've come throughout this video. And you guys can kind of see all of the changes and the differences in terms of my behavior, my language, my speaking, my layouts, my decisions, and everything of the sort throughout like each batch. I think it's really interesting to actually see like my channel evolve through each batch, and I hope you guys can see that, and I hope you really appreciate it. But if you've made it this far, I really appreciate it, and I really hope you've enjoyed this content. If you have, go ahead and hit that like button if you feel as though I've deserved it, and subscribe for more Pokemon and PokeMMO content. Also consider checking out all of the playlist links below for more Pokemon and PokeMMO content. I have a ton of it on this channel. Check out the Discord link to join an incredible community that is probably well over 1,000 members by the time this video comes out, which is incredible, and I love each and every one of you. And then finally, consider becoming a YouTube member to me for $5 a month, dropping some super chats on any of my live streams, and becoming a Twitch Prime or Twitch sub to me over on Twitch, or hitting up my Venmo links are all incredible ways to go above and beyond and support me. I do YouTube full time, so if you guys want to encourage me or give me some extra incentive, or if you want to keep seeing content, that's the best way to go ahead and support that mentality. So thank you all so much for watching. I can't thank you enough, and I just really hope you guys enjoyed this video, found it informative, entertaining, and educational. So have a good one. I'll see you guys later. I'll see you soon. My name is Petrowski. Peace and love.